President Biden makes a stop in Kentucky, a look at what the Brent Spence Bridge project means for the Commonwealth. And are you struggling with sky-high electric bills? We have some information about a local program that could help.
A lot of showers finally out of here, but the warm air also moving out of here. The latest on temperatures closer to normal coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
While many politicians have returned to Frankfort for the legislative session, there is one former lawmaker in Eastern Kentucky who is staying home. Kentucky's 94th district has a new representative. Incumbent Angie Hatton was defeated in November. WYMT's Dakota Makris sat down with Hatton to talk about her political career and what she hopes to see happen in the upcoming session.
She is perhaps one of the best-known names in Eastern Kentucky politics. Former state representative, former House Minority Whip, and Letcher County native Angie Hatton took office in 2016. The 94th District originally covered all of Letcher County, along with a part of Pike County. Recent redistricting added part of Harlan County into the mix.
I'm really proud of my ability to be objective about things, and I'm really proud of a lot of the stands that I took and the courage that I was able to muster to stand up to some really big forces.
Hatton says she went to work every day for the people of her district. As she looks back on her career, she is proud to say she was able to work on several notable projects, like bringing water to the Eola community and repairing roads in the counties she represented. While she is a registered Democrat, she says she took her mountain values to Frankfort with her.
If you look at my voting record, I switched back and forth which party I was voting for. I was able to stand up to either party if that's what was right for my district.
In March of 2022, Hatton, along with a bipartisan group of lawmakers from our region, opposed the sale of Kentucky Power to Liberty Utilities for nearly $3 billion. They opposed the sale because they believed it would benefit the company more than it would Eastern Kentucky. 2 months later, the Kentucky Public Service Commission approved the sale.
It was $589 million in profit that we felt was an undue windfall for Kentucky Power.
Devastating and deadly flooding hit parts of her district during the summer of last year. During our interview, she recalled some of the stories of heroism and loss.
I've told the story a couple of times about a woman who we were handing her some soup, and she said, "I don't have a can opener." And so we found her a can opener. She said, "I don't have a pot." And then she just said, "Oh my God, I don't even have a pot."
She says while there is still a long way to go on the road to recovery, she is pleased with how fast her home county and others affected have bounced back.
In the grand scheme of things, folks from other places who are dealing with volunteers and disasters all across the country and the world tell us that we are ahead, especially here in Letcher County, that we have responded more quickly.
I asked her what she would like the current General Assembly to get done during its session. One of the topics she mentioned was legalizing medicinal marijuana use. Last year, she says the bill she co-sponsored passed in the House, but didn't make it into the Senate. She said people with certain medical conditions could benefit from it.
I think we just need to have it heard, you know? Let it be heard. Let people have the opportunity to come forward and testify in committee, and to have the majority of Kentuckians' opinion about this have some sway.
As she decides on what to do next, she offers advice to her successor, Republican Pike County native Dr. Jacob Justice.
Do his best to not live in an echo chamber in a vacuum where you only listen to one side of an argument, to please educate himself on both sides of an issue as it relates to Eastern Kentucky.
Saying whatever she decides to do next, it will help people. In Letcher County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Hatton has not officially decided what she will do next. She says she has some good options she is weighing. Now, State Representative Jacob Justice responded to Hatton's advice in a statement to us today, saying, quote, "I appreciate her advice as I do her service in the legislature. I'm honored to serve the 94th District and am very humbled by the support I've received from people across all 3 counties. I've been working with leadership and my colleagues in the House to prepare for this session and look forward to working on behalf of our 94th district. I was elected to bring a voice to a forgotten district, and that's exactly what I intend to do. Governor Andy Beshear will deliver his State of the Commonwealth address in less than an hour. Officials with the governor's office posted on Facebook. The address will start at 7 o'clock tonight. You can watch it on the governor's social media or on KET. With the post, the governor appeared in a video highlighting some of the topics that he'll talk about during the speech.
I'm going to talk about how, despite everything we've been through, including a pandemic, tornadoes, flooding, ice storms, a polar plunge, temporary but tough inflation, and even a war in Europe, the state of our Commonwealth is still strong, and our future is bright.
We'll also have some of the highlights from the governor's speech tonight at 11. The governor has been elected by his fellow Appalachian governors to serve as the state's co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission for this year. As part of the new role, Governor Beshear will work with federal co-chair Gail Manchin to lead the commission in bolstering economic and community growth across 13 Appalachian states. Kentucky will also host the ARC's annual conference in the fall. President Joe Biden made a stop in Kentucky today. He was joined by Kentucky Senator and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, along with several Ohio politicians, near the Brent Spence Bridge. That bridge, of course, connects Kentucky and Ohio and will get a companion bridge now at a cost of more than $1.6 billion. During his remarks, Mr. Biden stressed the need for Republicans and Democrats to work together to pass more legislation like the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He said successful bills like that one happen when political leaders, quote, drop a little bit of our egos and focus on what is needed in the country.
Laborers, electricians, carpenters, cement masons, iron workers, steel workers, communication workers, auto workers, and so much more. These are good jobs you can raise a family on, and most don't require a college degree. All this is about making an investment in America's heartland, and America's people, and America's future. It's about making things in America again. It's about good jobs. It's about the dignity of work. It's about respect. And folks, it's about damn time we're doing it.
The president also condemned what he labeled an embarrassing scene of GOP disarray back in Washington, where Republicans have been unable to unify on electing a new House Speaker.
Well, we've seen a sunset like we haven't seen in a little while throughout the region as we cleared out following the passage of that cold front this afternoon, and it looks pretty nice outside, at least from our western skies. A look outside right now at several of our spots. London is at 59, playing on the tarmac, and a nice sunset there in the background. We're already past sunset here in Hazard, and the sun going down in Somerset. Temperatures in the upper 50s region-wide. We're dropping into the upper 50s after many of us got into the middle 60s today. Jackson got to 65, London to 64, and the cooling effect as the sun sets and the westerly winds bring in drier air continues, but a few clouds already working into the bluegrass. We'll see a mix of stars and clouds, if you will, tonight. Upper 30s for those overnight lows. Details, though, on when we return to a little bit of some perhaps soggy weather. That's in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. During the winter months, utility costs increase and many families struggle to keep up with the bills. But community action agencies across Kentucky are trying to help people in crisis situations. WYMT's Olivia Calfee explains.
Anyone can tell you winters in the mountains can be frigid, and community action agencies are offering a few options to combat the cold. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, also known as LIHEAP, was created to help low-income households pay home heating costs.
And it is to help people that are in a crisis situation, that are either getting close to having their electricity disconnected, they have a disconnect notice or a cutoff notice or a past due notice.
LKLP Executive Director Rick Baker says on Monday, January 9th, the application opens for the crisis component.
We always see an increase in calls, especially around the holidays, because traditionally, you know, you have more heating, utility cost involved in the winter months, especially when we experience the temperatures that we did last week.
Baker says they are expecting to serve between 5,000 and 6,000 households this year. In order to apply, applicants must provide the following documents: proof of a social security number or a permanent residence card for each member of the household, proof of all household members' income from the previous month, the most current heating bill or statement from your landlord if heating expenses are included in your rent, and the account number or name on the account for the main heating fuel sources and electric bill. Baker also says there is another program they are encouraging people to apply for to help decrease the cost of electric bills.
The one other really good option that we have for families to apply for is weatherization, where we go in and we can weatherize someone's home, and that reduces their energy costs long term, basically forever, by adding insulation and doing other weatherization measures to the home.
Weatherization will help reduce the long-term energy burden on homes. For assistance with either of these programs, call your local community action agency. In Perry County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
The application for the LIHEAP crisis component is open from January 9th until March 31st or until available funds have been used. However, the application for weatherization is open year-round. For more information, you can go to WYMT.com. A 28-year law enforcement veteran was announced as the chief of the London Police Department Monday. Chuck Johnson returns to the department after working for Kentucky State Police and the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. He says his primary goal as chief is to have a proactive approach to law enforcement. Out with the old and in with the new. Appalachian Wireless is moving forward with a plan to update connectivity for people in the mountains. WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to officials about the change.
Appalachian Wireless is cutting the wires on 3G connection.
Trying to make people aware, and it's kind of our final push before 3G just completely goes away.
Last year, the wireless carrier announced plans to bring in the 5G era, moving solely into 4G LTE services last month to help the transition from the old ways.
This is going to pave the way for 5G so we can use the spectrum and the airwaves, so to say, of 3G to then put that towards 5G.
A move that representatives warn will cause issues for old devices.
Today, if you're able to make a phone call and it uses 3G service, tomorrow if the switch is flipped, so to say, that phone will no longer be able to call 911 for emergency services, may not be able to send text messages. The complete functionality of the phone may go away.
Encouraging impacted customers to act now by checking their device's voice over LTE compatibility or replacing an old model, since the full elimination of 3G is happening before the end of January.
5G, it's a bridge to the future, so it's going to enable more data capacity, and the demand for data is definitely not going away with the Instagrams and the TikToks of the world. So trying to support that demand, this is definitely one of the phases in order to be able to do that.
Taking the steps back from 3G.
This is coming, and trying to not catch anybody by surprise and let them know so they can start asking the questions now.
To move forward into a region of connectivity. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
You can check your device's compatibility and see the full release from Appalachian Wireless on our website.
Well, more dry air moving into the region as we head into tonight. The latest coming up after this. Plus,
the holidays are over, but the need for donations at women's centers and rehabilitation facilities continued, while facilitators are hoping the season of giving will also continue.